All right, welcome into another edition of Watching. This is the off season, but something didn't feel right about not having Garrett Crochet in my postseason coverage. He threw a gem versus the Yankees. I feel like this game needs to be watched. I hardly remember what happened. I know he shoved. I know they won. I know things were looking good, but I feel like it was time to watch it. This was Mr. Garrett Crochet, which we're about to head over right here on the main screen. He had a hell of a season, folks. We know now that he was ended up being the runner-up to Scooble in the Cy Young, but he definitely had a Cy Young caliber season. 6.3 WAR this year, 18-5, 259, 32 starts, 205 and a third innings, 255 punchies with a 1.028 WHIP. Now, I mentioned he was my locker mate in spring training, and one thing before we get this video started that I want to point out was I was a little skeptical that he was going to be able to handle this workload. I knew they just gave him the extension, and this is what was being, this was the challenge that was being presented. But considering how his innings have kind of toggled up over the past few years, I didn't know if this was possible, right? So previous year, he threw 146 innings for the White Sox. But before that, 12 and 2/3, did not play in 22, career high 54 and a third in 21, and then only 6 innings in 2020. So you're talking about a guy who really hadn't pitched a lot. Last year comes out like gangbusters, basically goes on a pitch limit down the stretch. This year gets the extension and the wheels, the training wheels that is, come off. And we saw what happened. He goes out there and throws up a hell of a season. Now, I was extremely impressed with this guy's presence in the locker room, as well as his professionalism, as well as a guy who was really trying to learn and really trying to figure out. I was also very impressed with his teammates and how they looked at him as a certain type of guy. Even the ones that were with him with the White Sox, they definitely felt like he had that type of aura, if that makes sense. So they saw it coming. I was skeptical, although he definitely won me over quite a bit in spring training just by being around him. Just a beast. I saw the stuff up close. I saw the work ethic. So I knew he was nasty. I had major league hitters tell me that he was disgusting last year and that it was special. I knew all that, but I was just, thinking, can somebody turn into a true ace this fast? And you know what? Garrett Crochet did it. He certainly did it. So anyway, this start comes in game 1 of the postseason versus the Yankees in Yankee Stadium. So this is a big cojones type start. The matchup was Fried versus Crochet. Crochet ends up going 7 2/3 in this game that we're about to watch. 4 hits, 1 run. It was earned with 0 walks and 11 punchies. Does get clipped for a home run. I think it's Judge. I don't really remember. We're going to see 117 pitches. So absolute beast. Let's go see how the pitches break down of what we're about to watch. 32% four-seamer, 26% cutter, 19% sweeper, 17% sinker, which was a big addition to his game this year, and 6% changeup. He threw a few of them with the White Sox, but the arsenal grew a lot, and the sweeper was particularly incredible this year. He had the best sweeper in the game this year by results. In this ball game, he threw 85% first pitch strikes. This is unbelievable. This is what the Red Sox preach. Have nasty shit, throw it over the plate, right? Garrett Crochet is the poster child for this strategy. He's got the stuff to do it, so he does it, and he does it really, really well. Let's look at his whiff game. 28% whiff. That's 20 swing and misses. No. That is 16 swing and misses on 58 swings. 58 swings is a lot of swings. That tells you how much he was around the zone. The biggest one being that cutter, 37%, and then actually the sinker, 30% whiff in this game. But they all got whiff. This is a dominant performance, and we're about to watch it pitch by pitch. And then we'll go from there. All right. Without further ado, here we go. Mr. Garrett Crochet in his Red Sox postseason debut. And the first batter is Paul Goldschmidt. So he faced the Yankees, I believe, 4 times during the regular season and shoved every single time, particularly owning Judge. Judge did clip him for a homer, but he also struck him out double-digit times, which is insane considering how much better of a hitter Judge is than the rest of the league. So comes out this game, fastball up away, sweeper, and then another sweeper. Goldschmidt's on that and lines it into left for a base hit. So comes out the gate, doing what he always does, pounding the zone, being unpredictable. This is the sweeper I mentioned. It's the best sweeper in the game this year by run value. But this one's just right down the middle. Paul Goldschmidt's obviously a great hitter. And he lines it into left for the leadoff hit of the Wago. And here comes Aaron Judge, who's also going to get a hit on the first pitch he sees. It's a cutter here. And he ends up hammering it through the hole. I mean, Aaron Judge is, way, way, way above the level of every other hitter in the big leagues. So, hey, 4 pitches in. Two guys on, nobody out, and Cody Bellinger coming up. Let's see what Big Crochet does to him. First pitch, 98.5 sinker. Pours in there. No panic in his game. He's been just steady as they can be all season long. I love this first pitch right here. This is just drilling a 98.5 sinker. Looks like Belly's taking all the way here. All right. I was going to go cutter off that. Pulls it just a bit outside the lane. Back to the sinker in. Ooh, kind of middle up. Fouled off. He's under that. I don't know. Nothing crazy to the metric. Just 98.2. So that's the big deal with Crochet. It's 98.2. The way he stays closed as he comes through hides the ball really well as well. And now he's going to go four seam. So sinker, sinker. He throws two sinkers and then a four seam here at the end. So, all right. So this is a little bit of a strategy that I love to point out a lot. So this has 15.4 inches of induced vertical break on it. That's the four seam. This is the one that gets over Bellinger's barrel. As you see, swings slightly under this pitch. It's also high and up out of the zone. The previous sinkers had 9.1 inches of induced vertical break, and the first pitch was 8.4. All right, so that's a 6-7 inch difference to the batter, and that makes all the difference. Those balls that he was foul tipping with that same swing path versus the sinker, he is now under versus the four seam. So very effective strategy here, kind of lays the trap with those sinkers. Once he sees that he's actually under the sinker, he says, well, there's no way you're going to get on top of my four seam then. It's got more rise to it. So he goes to it. I mean, plus we're also talking premium velo. Is basically 99 miles an hour, left on left with a closed delivery. I mean, that's just one of the best fastballs in the world, flat out. So strikes out Belly for the first out of the first, and now here comes Big G. Gonna start him with a heater. Gets it to that up in quadrant, really good pitch. Again, he threw 85% first pitch strikes in this game. So look, when you're doing that, you have zero fear of throwing your shit in the zone. So he's bought in fully to that philosophy. It's paid off for him all year. And in the biggest game of the season for him, he's not going to stray from that. He's just going to throw his premium stuff in the zone, try to be predictable. Him and Narvaez are going to try to make good decisions with these dudes. They've seen plenty of him. He's seen plenty of them. And, you know, the first inning, largely, he would like to get a contact out if possible. Not have to strike everybody out. All right, cutter down in. So this was a little bit of a risk here, 1-1. Wondering if Big G is going to come unglued. They go for the cutter, and it's for chase. You see the target. I mean, Narvaez is effectively out of the strike zone here. So that's the cue. That's all you really need to know. Crochet is looking to throw a strike ball pitch. Unfortunately, it starts at a bit too low, and it's a pretty easy take for Stanton. I should note that Stanton usually sits on one pitch a lot of the time. Not always, but tends to be a guy who will hunt. And when you see a take like that with absolutely no trigger, that tells me he's looking for something a little more up in the zone to swing at least something to pop up out of the hand, but let's see. All right, 2-1 sweeper coming here. So even behind the count, going to the off speed. Yep, sure enough, he does swing. There's that high little poppage up and away. G swings, even though this ball doesn't get back to the zone. You could tell that's the lane he's looking for the ball to come out of. So my instincts were probably right there. And, you know, the big thing about Crochet's sweeper, I mean, it's got decent shape to it. It's got some depth to it. It's got some sweep to it. But the big thing is the speed differential. He's throwing 98, and then this is like 83. That's a huge differential. No wonder Stanton is so far out front for strike two here. And now we get to 2-2 count. And now he's going to try to doors him with the four seam. See the high target. Ooh, actually throws it right down the middle. But they're going to get a double play anyway. How hard he hit that? 106 right in the ground. What's that, a two-hopper to Story? That's about as tailor-made as you can get. Slow runner, candy hop, firm grounder, double play to end the inning. Now, what's interesting about this pitch is you see the flash of the target. Narvi wants it up here. That's the idea. If he gets it there, he probably gets the strikeout. He ends up miscalculating his lane just a bit and throws this ball about as center cut as you can throw it to a guy who's probably going to hit 500 home runs in his career. Anyway, just something about Crochet's heater, though. It gets on him. Stanton comes through a little bit too steep, a little too flat here, and pounds it in the ground. And he's out of the first. So first two guys get on, no panic, strike out, and double play. All right, second inning, and Ahmed Rosario, who's in the lineup because he has good numbers off Crochet. So that's why he's in there. He tries to ambush the first pitch. Good luck with that. That ball's perfectly placed above the zone. And he is super late on that, fouled off. All right, four seam a little further in. I love this pitch call. Good pitch, good take. You know, the first pitch, the first pitch is right here, so it's like middle cut, even though it's top of the zone. So then by effective velocity, if he's going to go make an adjustment, you got to kind of make a counter adjustment to that if you're going to stick with the fastball. And any pitch that's inside will play a little faster than any pitches a little further away from the hitter. So that's the idea there. You know what? Just make it a little harder to hit. You have count leverage, and if you throw a ball like this, that's fine too. That serves a purpose, kind of stands him up. 1-1 count. Now he's going to go to the changeup. See, serves a purpose. Stands him up, and now that pitch is that much more effective. Now, we don't see him throwing a lot of changeups, but this is either a splitter or a kick change. Looks like he might have a Gaussman grip going on there. Maybe a split with a paddle. The paddle of fingers. I don't know, kind of hard to tell. Cuts it too, so it's definitely got some seam shift action. But if you look at the metric on it, it's incredible. Negative 2.6 and only negative 3.4. That's basically a straight dropper with low spin rate at 85.3. I'm going to say this is probably a split of some type. Anyway, really good pitch, and shows you even using his balls to his advantage. He threw that fastball in. Opens up a lane to use the changeup, and now he's ahead in the count, and he can go back to that fastball, probably up in. Yep, same target. Gets it there and jams the piss out of Rosario. Easy play for Trev. And there's one out. Only hit that 80.2. He got way in on those hands right here. Look at this. So that changeup, you know, it's so slow relative to the fastball, whatever that pitch is. It's coming up on changeup here, as changeup here. I think it's a split, but either way, we'll see. It slows him down enough that then he goes back up in. Just can't cover both of those speeds. So outstanding command, outstanding sequence there, ground out. All right, Grisham, left on left. This should be a nightmare. First pitch, heater. You know what's funny is that's a strike. Doesn't even get it. Kind of an awkward snatch, I would say, a little bit by Narvaez. Yeah, it doesn't even bring it into the zone, really. But wow, 85% strike, could have been higher. So ball one there. Probably going to stick with the heater. Nope, going to switch heater type to the sinker now. Ooh, kind of runs that one back to the middle. Gets a take. What's Trent looking for here, huh? Cutter off that. Gets a big-time chase. This ball came out of a nice little window right here, this cutter, I bet. I bet that looked awfully down the middle to Trent. And then by the time he goes to swing, it's way off the plate. And that's a cutter, too. That's at 91, so little sequence there. Ooh, backdoor sinker attempt. That was filthy. That's an accidental filth. So, look, the pitch, what they're trying to do here is start it over here to run it back to the corner. But what ends up happening is he's a little late with his hand, and this ball just zips in here. And this is a deadly pitch. And this is just nasty. 15 inches going the other way. Grisham's not looking for that. It's kind of an accident. He runs away from his hand a little bit, making it have even more tailing action. It's just filthy. All right, here's the one out. Here's the one home run. And actually, this, of course, now I remember watching it. Volpe's the one who gets him. Let's see. Four seam up away, strike. Good pitch. Again, not trying to do too much with 0-0 pitches, just trying to pour him in there. Now he goes back to that in, kind of overcooks that one. All right, triple up on the heater. Back to the in target. That's a better miss, at least. I mean, it's nice when you have this kind of stuff. I mean, this ball is pretty leaky over the middle. A lesser fastball might get whacked here. But Volpe's under it. And it's a 1-2 count. Now they're going to go to the sweeper. Wow, emergency hack. Tried to go back foot, goes accidental top shelf back door. Honestly surprised he swings at this. Kind of spoils it, but that almost worked. And then he gets him on a sinker, right? Yeah, and I think all that happened here was, you know, it's the same accident that happened when he struck out Grisham, where it was a happy accident because the pitch was more down into a lefty. In this case, he's been throwing him four seamers that he was a little under. So when he goes to the sinker here, you know, the metric on it actually allows Volpe to be more on plane, because if the four seam he's under it, the sinker's is a little more droppy. Now he's going to accidentally hit that barrel the way that Volpe's back comes through. That's kind of what happens here. He just kind of accidentally hits the barrel. Now look, the target by Narvi obviously is way in here. So the idea is to shoot this ball back to this corner and punch him out looking, or make him make a really tough swing decision in there on something 97. But that's not what happens. He F's it up over here. And again, I mentioned, only 7.5 induced vertical break, whereas those four-seamers, 14.3, 13.8, 15.3. So a far cry from the 7. He's under those just by math. Pretty good chance he's going to, that adjustment is just going to happen on its own. He ends up hitting the barrel. So, basically he pounds the zone. This is going to happen every now and then. It's also a Yankee Stadium-ish home run, I believe. Nah, 105.2 at 22, probably gone a lot of places. This is the tantalizing thing about Volpe. He does have tools, but this is more Crochet hitting his barrel than Anthony doing anything, in my opinion. All right, and that's going to be it. That's all they're going to get, so he's probably going to roll from here. All right, Austin Wells. Wow, he tries to ambush, and he has to foul ball off his own. Wow, whacks himself pretty hard in the leg here because this is just a sinker that chases him inside. Crochet's stuff is just so good, and his strike throwing is so consistent that he forces you to make some wild choices at the plate. Wellesley goes up there like, I'm swinging no matter what, and you're going to get a sinker on your knuckles. That's not fun. There's another sinker on your knuckles. So he comes in there looking for a ball in a certain lane. He gets it in those lanes, but it's not the pitch he wants. And he gets absolutely chewed up twice. And this one's crazy. 58.2 off the bat. I mean, he doesn't even know what happened. Man, talk about getting in there. I mean, there's the bat angle. Barrel's way down here. Anyway, that's the end of the second. We're on to the third. Jose Caballero, and he's going to be an 8-pitch strikeout victim. Starting him with a cutter for a strike. Beautiful. Sweeper off the cutter. Everybody does it. Gets the chase. That's the combo. That's why. 0-2 count in the driver's seat, but this is an annoying hitter. Four-seam up. Take. Good job. They're going to try it again. Non-competitive. Now they're going to go cutter. Interesting. Gets it there. He's under it. Fouls it off the mask. Sweeper off that. So same sequence again. Almost gets him. Had him out front. Unfortunately for Crochet here, it's just in the strike zone. Anything out of the zone, he's probably missing this. I mentioned Caballero's a flea up there. He is. All right, next pitch. Fastball up. Ball. And now he's going to get him finally with the fastball here. Yeah, just gets him up top. When Crochet locates up and away from a righty, like he typically does, him and Scooble in particular, like when they throw their lefty heater like right there to a righty, I mean, they just don't hit it. They just swing and miss every time. It's incredible. All right, so strikeout there, back to the top of the order. Goldie got a hit on a sweeper the first time. Start him with a cutter here. Taking all day for a strike. He's just perpetually ahead in the count. And if nothing else, that's really the key. And this is a second disgusting changeup split. Something that I can't really tell. Looks like it's a split, right? A split with more fingers. Yeah, I see a split. I see some daylight on that ball right there. All right, so they got Crochet throwing a split. I mean, the Red Sox have been incredible with some of their pitch development this year, particularly changeups and splits. Everybody else seems to be throwing a kick change. Connolly early, Peyton Tolley, whole bunch of Red Sox dudes. But Crochet's throwing a split, it looks like. That's filth. So 0-2 here. There's that pitch that I said nobody can hit, but Goldie is in freaking protect the plate mode, and he slashes it foul for a ball, and here comes changeup. Off the plate away. Changeup coming again. All right, so he threw 2 dandies to start off his night on changeups, and then the last 2 have been kind of crappy. You can tell he really wanted to go to it. He felt like it was the right pitch. Now they kind of get away from it, and he overcooks a cutter, so he gets the 3-2. So I don't know. I mean, honestly, he hasn't really hit his rhythm yet in this game, if I'm being honest. All right, cutter here, and now he gets the chase, not even close. Just a weird at-bat. Goldie, I think a little bit of auto swing here. I mean, this ball starts on a pretty low trajectory. I'm a little surprised at this swing, but I think he just trusted Garrett to throw a strike, and that's the other advantage of throwing so many strikes. The hitters start to trust you to throw a strike, and you get a little more chase sometimes. All right, nice pitch there, and Mr. Judge. All right. Now, I mentioned he struck out Judge like 10 times in the regular season, mostly on heaters, like that one. Screaming heater up top. Here comes another one. But Judge did clip him as soon as the ball got a little bit lower, and this is just a great matchup. Power versus power. Badass versus badass. You just gotta like it. Good pitch, good take. All right, sweeper off that. Great take. Incredible take. Everybody else is swinging at this. He doesn't even really check. He just like body checks. Nasty. Judge is so freaking good. All right, ball 2-1. Oh, change up. I love that they're trusting it. I don't remember this. All right, it's a ball, but I still love that they're trusting it. 3-1, cutter coming. Oh, God. Terrible pitch. But gets him off the end. Had him a little bit out front somehow. 90.3. I mean, AJ doesn't miss this very often, folks. He's just a little out front of it. Gets it off the end, just a hair. This is a dangerous pitch. Hey, but you know what? We'll take it. He was willing to find out. He didn't go fastball there 3-1, but got something over the dish, so gets the fly out, and that is it for the third. All right, fourth inning, Cody Bellinger. Struck him out the first time. Going to get him out with a first pitch cutter this time. Just a little located down and away cutter gets him off the end of the bat. I need to see that from center field. Yeah, just caught him off the end of the bat. I bet his bat broke there. 74-3, little 4-3, and first out of the fourth, and here comes Big G. First pitch cutter. So one of the rare first pitch balls. Good pitch, though. If he swings at that, that's a great pitch, so I don't mind that. And you got to watch out for the ambush in this spot. Makes sense. Sweeper off that. So a lot of cutter to sweeper. But even if you know that's coming, that's a tough sequence. All right, fastball up top. Good location, good take. I still contend Big G's looking for something to pop up away from him. That's the reason why he's taking these pitches. Pretty easy take. All right, sweeper now. Yep, there's that poppage. Man, he got a pitch to hit. Just inaccurate with the barrel here for whatever reason, probably a timing thing. But that's the pitch Big G wants to hit. Very flat, almost a little too flat through the zone. All right, four seam. Up above the zone, good take. And then he's going to get him with a cutter. Another good pitch to hit, but really hadn't seen cutter in a while. And actually, he's under this. I don't know. Big G's swinging awfully big there, but you know what? Just got to give Crochet credit at this point. I don't think he looks amazing yet, but he is just refusing to throw balls. You know, he's not walking you. He might go deep in the count, but he's not walking you. All right, Med Rosario. 2 outs here in the fourth. Gonna start him with a sweeper. Misses there. He's gonna come back cutter. Now that's a good cutter. You can see this is what you want. This is the type of swing and miss he's expecting most of the time. They swing over the ball. They think they're seeing a fastball and it just kind of gives out down. And this is a really nasty pitch. 1-1. All right, sweeper off that. So a lot of cutter to sweeper I've mentioned. But again, it's a tough sequence. It really is. He's out front on it, fouls it off 1-2. Now he's going to try to doors him. That is a nasty fastball, folks. Look at the angle on this thing. I mean, he doesn't swing, but that's scary. All right, 2-2. Fastball coming again. Really good pitch. Good foul ball, though. Cutter off that. Great cutter, great foul ball. Back to the heater. Rosario was on him a little bit there. Spoiled a lot of good pitches, but ultimately beats this one in the ground. Fastball just gets on you, man. I mean, he's got good extension. 6'9", 7-foot extension on top of the fact that his heater is very fast. Pretty good combination. All right, fifth inning, and this is where he starts to roll, I guess, because he's going to punch the side here in the fifth. Trent Grisham is the first pitch cutter. Grisham's trying to ambush here. A little under it. That was probably a good pitch to hit. Sinker off that makes a lot of sense. Run it in him. Chase him in off the plate. Beautiful. Beautiful. Beautiful pitch. Four seam up in. Great pitch. No call, but great pitch. Ooh, sinker. So he's changed. Just keeps Just keeps changing fastball types here. He goes cutter to sinker to four seam to sinker right here. And Grisham doesn't know what's going on. Everything's kind of in. It's all moving different directions. And what's he going to finish him with? Sweeper. Fantastic. Fantastic sequence. Not much you can do if you're Trent there. I mean, that whole sequence just existed on the inner third. He just played with this inner third the whole way. First pitch cutter was kind of here, got the foul ball. Then he went to a sinker way up in here. Then he goes to a four seam right here. So now it's three different fastball types, basically, all relatively inside, but moving different directions. You know, the yellow's moving away from the hitter, the red's moving into the hitter, the blue's moving into the hitter, but less, but riding more. Then he goes back to sinker again off of that and throws it in here, and Trent doesn't know what to do. And after all that, he's like, I guess it's time for breaking ball. And look, they want this ball over here. But you see, it starts so far in, and because he can't trust anything now, he kind of hits the flinch move here, and it's frozen pizza. Goodbye. So, really just mean pitch calling there for the first out of the fifth. All right, Volpe homered on him the last time. Crochet coming right back in there with the heater. Great pitch for the 0-0 strike. So 0-1 count, right to the changeup split thing. Fires in the ground. Yeah, so you can see it's a work in progress command-wise. It's got good action, though. I like that. Another fastball up for a ball. Cutter coming in here. Chops it foul. Probably a decent pitch to hit. Oh, sweeper coming off that cutter again. Almost works. Really good combo there. Man, I would have went heater off that, but they're going sweeper again. Volpe just hanging in there. Those are good pitches. Four seam ends the pitch. Pretty good foul off, but he only got to this because it catches a tiny bit of the plate. Great try by Anthony here. I have to say, this is a pretty good at bat, but that was a good pitch. Off that, maybe cutter. Yep. And see ya. Yeah, I mean, you know what that's kind of like? That's kind of like when the pick and roll defense breaks down in basketball and all of a sudden they're chasing. You know, there's the pass, the extra pass, and then the third pass, and the defenders are all just running, looking to close out. That's what this at-bat was like. Like, he got ahead of him. Like, he was about to hit the open shot for the strikeout. Volpe kept chasing him down and making him make an extra pass, but eventually it was inevitable, and, you know, there was a layup available, and it was this cutter in, and he destroys him with that. So, just a great sequence, nothing you can do about it. You just continue to execute pitches, and eventually that's going to work. And now Wellesley would be the third strikeout of this inning. First pitch fastball drills it. Still pumping 97, 98 here in the fifth. Sweeper off that. I love that. Off that outer lane. Dots it again. Wellesley, pretty good take, actually, but gets the call. 0-2. Reaches back for a little more and throws a hell of a four-seam here up and away for the swing-through attempt. I'm surprised that he touches this. Really good pitch. He's starting to cook now. This inning, he's cooking. Sweeper off that. This should do it if you get in that lane. Yeah, but he just popped it in too much. Wellesley should have hit that. And now he's going to get undressed with a sinker. Oh, yeah, the comeback sinker. So every other pitch he's throwing to him, this whole at-bat feels like it's running this way off the plate. And then this pitch, kind of, instead of doing that, it kind of checks back a little bit to the corner. Watch this. Can't really see it on this camera angle, but you can kind of tell by the awkward way Narvi catches it. And it hangs in there for strike three. So he punches the side in the fifth. Fantastic. On to the sixth, and Mr. Caballero. Gonna start him with the heater. Down low for a ball. Doesn't love the mound there. Yankee Stadium mound, I think it's the best in the league, actually. Very sticky. Although you can see his back foot skidding a little bit. Watch the back foot here. You see that? See that little slippage on the back foot? I don't like that at all. I've never had that experience there, but it's real. He's having it right there. And I think that throws him off for these first two pitches. Ball. Now he's got to get back in the zone. He knows it. I'm surprised Cabby tried to swing here. Now, granted, he almost goes bridge. 105.3, so gets pretty much all of his Mighty Mouse strength into this pitch. But 33 degrees, dead center. Unfortunately for Caballero, hits this to dead center. I also love the technique of Rafaela. Watch that real quick. Head down, running, then refines the ball. and gets around it. He's the best outfielder in the league, him and PCA. Anyway, one out in the sixth. Here comes Goldie. Back to the top of the order for the third time. Start him with a cutter. Got Paul to chase a really low pitch on 3-2 last time on a cutter. Got a hit on a sweeper the first time. So cutter, sweeper here. Same sequence again, and then back to the cutter. Interesting. So gets him out with the cutter that one time, decides to stick with it. Actually, a pretty good pitch to hit and a pretty good swing. I feel like Prime Goldie launches this ball out of the ballpark. Just mishits it? Oddly. Yeah, just a bit off the end, it looks like to me. Yankees had some good swings at times. Crochet just made him swing it a lot because he was ahead a lot. All right, that's 2 outs in the sixth, and here's Judge. Starts him with 99. Best heater of the night, but down in. If Judge just wanted to design a pitch to swing at, this would probably be it, but he's in take mode here. And Garrett jumps ahead of him. Now, this is pitch number 88 in the sixth inning. 99 miles an hour. Fantastic. Goes right to that changeup again, that split. Ooh, that might be the best one he threw all night. Not by the metric, but that's a weird pitch. Really weird pitch. Positive 2.5 vert, negative 1.7 horizontal. 1100 spin. Definitely a split of some sort, but man, great take by Judge. Judge is just, man, every swing decision is so on point. All right, cutter coming. Misses up top. Sweeper off the cutter. Another good take. Judge continuing to make great takes, but it's 3-1. He's going to try to go at him again. So he got in a 3-1 count the last time with Judge, and he threw him a cutter down the middle and got away with it. Judge should have hammered it. Goes right back to that same sequence. I am stunned that they did that. Judge is too smart for this. And look, it almost doesn't work because he hammered that ball, probably 115 foul. But he's out front, so we get another pitch, and now they're going to go fastball. Ooh, great pitch, great swing. This is just great big league hardball right here. Gets the fastball to that up and in. Judge is pretty short to it, but can't quite get there. God, the margin is so tiny. What a freaking showdown. I love this. Fouled off, and then he's going to get him with a cutter. Let's see the location. Oh, like the accidental up and away backdoor cutter. Judge kind of hesitates a little bit, then fires and is under it. Weird pitch. This is a happy accident when you're a pitcher, and you can see by Judge's reaction, he's like, oh my goodness, he can't believe it. So anyway, punches out Judge to end the sixth. On to the seventh, Cody Bellinger. Start him with the sinker. So now they just jumped ahead in this game 2-1, and now Cody tries to come out ambushing. And this is the antidote to that, right? The left-on-left sinker that's chasing you in. I mean, he barely shaves this ball foul. That ball's in the zone. He might get him, but it's not. Really nasty. Now sweeper off that. I love that. Go to the opposite, both in speed and break and location. Doesn't get the swing, though. 1-1. Now to the cutter. I mean, look, he's pretty unpredictable, I have to say. The only thing is he likes to go cutter to sweeper a lot. Other than that, I mean, I don't know. I haven't really seen a whole lot. Even on first pitches, throwing a lot of everything first pitch. Cutters and fastballs mostly, but everything. He's even using that split thing. All right, so Belly pops up. That pretty good pitch to hit, but he's just off time. And now Stanton, it's going to be a first pitch out on a cutter. Yeah, and that tracks. Same type of deal. Pops kind of up and away. That's what Big G's been looking for. I think that's the lane he's been in all night. Also, his swing's been coming in too steep all night, so he doesn't get under this ball, doesn't beat it really, and get under it. Look at that rollover. That's a full rollover by G. So G just wasn't right, but another first pitch strike that pays off. Little one-hopper to Bregman, and 1 out in the inning. And now we are on to Ahmed Rosario again, the alleged Crochet killer, and he takes a sinker for a strike. So I think Crochet's looked a lot better, actually. Probably, I think he really hit his stride somewhere in the fourth. Since then, he's been pretty damn good. First pitch strike there, right to the sweeper. Was that another cutter? This was a sinker sweeper. This is a very fast seventh inning he just had, by the way, which is going to allow him to go out for the eighth. What a boss. Good pitch. Actually, a decent swing by Rosario, but hit it to the wrong dude. And we are through the 7th. That was a very economical 7. 3 pitches to Belly, 1 to Stanton, and 2 to Rosario. So a total of 6 pitches that inning. That was huge. That got him out for the 8th. That was a big difference in this game because Max Fried got pulled early. All right, Trent Grisham to start off the 8th. Going to start him with a sinker. Another one of those first pitch sinkers to the lefties that they think might be ambushing. This has been working all day long. They throw something that starts on the inner third, ends up way inside. That's what happens here, and Grisham is nowhere near that. 0-1 count. Now cutter to the opposite side of the plate. I love that. A little bit down. Sweeper off that. That's been the move. Gets the trigger. Does not get the swing, though. Great take by Grisham, and this is one of Grisham's superpowers. And we'll see more of this matchup next year, as we just recently found out in real time that Trent Grisham accepted his qualifying offer, and he will be a Yankee next year. So we will see these guys play again next year. All right, 2-1, sinker coming. Backdoor attempt. Hits it for the called strike. This is a good weapon against a guy who has a great eye like Grisham. This is a level up pitchers at home. There's certain guys that they're just not going to swing at your pitches outside of the zone, but they will take. They will take in the zone if you give them a reason to. So he hasn't shown him anything going back this way yet. That started away from him. Now he finally does. Grisham thinks it's going to keep going off the plate. Instead, it's a sinker. Comes back to the plate, and you get a free strike without a swing. Beautiful. 2-2. Probably a breaking ball off that. Nope. They're going to double down on that sinker. That's what's been chewing up Grisham all day long. And it chews him up again. This one's 98-6 in the 8th inning. Pitch 105. Just a little bit too high and a little bit too fast for Trent, and also he does not feel comfortable with that sinker shape coming into him. Crochet kind of dominated Grisham in this game. Not kind of, he did. All right, Mr. Volpe here with 1 out in the 8th. He's going to get a hit. This is going to be the second time he gets a hit. First pitch cutter, beautiful, up in, dotted location. Now they're going to go cutter more in. Oop, gets the swing and miss on the one below the zone. 97-8 coming for the doors. Good take. Ooh, and then another cutter, and this is where the hit's going to be. It's probably down the middle. Yeah, just down the middle. Just down the middle. Just a mistake down the middle. It happens. Good swing by Anthony, though. Takes advantage of it. 106 up the middle for the base hit, and this will be his last batter. It's Austin Wells. It's going to be a 9-pitch battle here, and then they're going to turn it over to Chapman. First pitch, sinker for strike. So 98 basically to open up this at-bat. We are well into, that was pitch 110. All right, sinker off that coming in. Man, the sinker left on left has been so deadly in this game. To Bellinger, to Grisham, to Wells. Look at this one. Just chews him up. 0-2 count. Four seam, 99-1. Is this his high watermark in velo here on pitch 112? I think it might be. Pretty impressive foul ball by Wellesley here. Just shaves it. Just gets a piece of it. Gets this ball up a little higher. It's punchy. They're going to try that now. Too high. Here's a pickoff. Who cares? Ooh, back to the sweeper. Pretty good location. Not quite far enough away, but gets the foul ball. Now they're going to go for that backdoor sinker freeze. Oh, he should have had it. First of all, this is a perfect pitch call and a perfect location, and I don't think he gets the call, and I don't know if it's a strike or not. Maybe we'll see later on the tracker, but Crochet, what a gangster reaction, by the way. What a freaking gangster this dude is. Just stoic as they come. All right, four-seam coming. Volpe doing his thing over there. Almost kills Wells right there. So second to last pitch. First one that really gets away from him in the game. Yee! My God, that's scary. All right, and he's going to finish off punching him out with a sinker at 100. Oh, baby. Sinker at 100. So he pulls this out of nowhere. It's a full mile an hour harder than his other hardest pitch. This is his last pitch of the season. Pitch number 117 of this Wago. And he lets this ball eat 100.1. Bottom of the zone. Wells is trying to get a take. It's too fast, so it doesn't sink enough. It drops in there. See you later. Strike 3. And that's the end of his outing. So he does a great job. He ends up getting pulled right there. I think this is a good moment, though, to watch this delivery for a second on the 101 pitch. Nasty. And a unbelievable reaction by him, too. You don't have a great view of it. I think he says F yeah or something like that. Snatches it like a boss. But anyway, let's check out the delivery. This is a slide step delivery, too. A couple things I want to point out about Big Garrett right away that I like that are badass. Number one, no undershirt. On no undershirt, you get a star in my book for that all day long. That's a terrible star, but no undershirt, love it. Number two, the cuffed look at the bottom. This is a patented look. He's the only guy doing it. And when it's your look, that's amazing. Be you. You get another star for that. That's fantastic. Number three, usually has a chew in his mouth. Gangster as F. That's a third star for me. So he gets 3 stars from me before we even start looking at the delivery. All right. Doesn't go for his full straight leg kick here. Kind of just drops into it. Look at that momentum as he rides. Look at this fall action. And then just hides that glove. Huge stretch across the chest. He's so big, so long, such a big arm coming through. Pretty good lead leg snappage. And just fury unleashed. That is 101 on pitch 117. And take a bow, Garrett Crochet, because you just put together one hell of a season. I know you didn't get the hardware. I know Scoop will beat you out. But that was a well-deserved fuck yeah on your last pitch of the season. And your boys held on to win this one. You did lose the series, but it wasn't because of you, buddy. Nice pitch. Nasty. Nasty, nasty, nasty. All right. Let's go look at his 3D pitch shapes real quick. And then we will call it a day for this video. All right, Garrett Crochet. Let's start with just these 4-seamers. So you can see the approach. I'm just going to throw screaming heaters to the top of the zone all day long. And you're not going to be able to do much about it. They're going to be boring in on a righty, boring away from a lefty. Now, look at the sinkers in comparison to that. These things absolutely chewed up the lefties all day. Now, the righties, they actually weren't that effective because he didn't get them to the inner corner versus the righties. He actually gave a home run on this to Volpe. But all these pitches in off the plate and on the corner over here to lefties were freaking devastating pitches. They really were. All right, I'm going to take out the 4-seamers. I'm going to put in those cutters because a lot of times he was pairing his sinker and then going right to that cutter. So you see, 2 pitches, similar speed-ish. One goes one way, one goes the other way. Good fucking luck. All right. And now we're going to go to the sweeper because he was throwing that off the cutter all day. And you can see why. They look kind of the same, but one's slower with more break. They have similar spin. They're breaking balls, but one has a different break, so it messes you up. Nasty. And then just for fun, I want to go watch some of these changeups that he threw. Kind of all over the place, but this was an interesting layer to his game that we hadn't seen before. Pretty damn cool. I'll put some fastballs in with that. You can see the contrast there. If he can figure out this pitch, he might be able to run Scooble down next year for that American League Cy Young. So anyway, this was a hell of a performance. Once again, the final box for Crochet: 7 2/3, 4 hits, 1 run, no walks, 11 strikeouts, 1 home run, 117 pitches, absolutely dominating game. So I felt like it just wasn't right to not watch this, to not do it justice. We missed it in real time. And I'm glad I got it up here now. I hope you guys enjoy it. Please like, subscribe, post it in a Reddit, tell your friends about it if you like it. If you like it, keep watching. There's going to be more of these videos coming. And don't forget the live streams. They're 10 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday during the off seasons. So check me out there. All right. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you next video.